that we have our business of the day. If you look at our previous class, please mute your mic, mute your mic, mute your mic. Thank you. So in our previous class, we looked at elements of effective writing. Elements of effective writing. Is there anyone that can remind us one or two things you learned in the previous class? Or mute your mic. Or mute your mic. Can you remind us of anything you learned in the previous class in the element of writing? I'm listening. Anything you remember in the last class, or you can't remember anything in our previous class? Hello, am I talking to somebody?
Hello, sir.
Okay. Uchechukwu, what do you remember?
Okay, I remember that audience, the writer, sorry, is one element of writing.
What? I can't hear you clearly. You still have the floor.
The writer, sorry, the writer, sir, is an element of writing.
The write-up. That's not so clear.
Writer, sir.
Okay, right, yes. It's a major element. Thank you very much. Who else wants to assist us? Who else? Among those that were present in the last class, we mentioned writer as an element of writing. Then what else? Hello, I'm waiting. Hello.
It's the medium too.
Let someone else talk. You have made your own point. Let another person speak. Yes, Omega.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I remember you gave us 5.
Oh, okay. Rita, speak on.
I remember you gave us 5 elements of effective writing.
Okay.
The writer, medium, context, message, and audience.
Thank you very much. Let Omega talk. Thank you. Oh, yeah, Omega.
And we also mentioned that the audience is a very important aspect that the writer has to consider when writing. If your audience are children, you have to.
Okay, what did you learn personally? Okay, I get it. What did you learn personally from the class?
I learned that I should consider my writers, my readers rather, the people who are going to be reading my writers while writing.
Okay,
people that are in academic.
Okay, that's very interesting. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your contribution. And that shows that you are part of the class. So then we build on what we did in the previous class, looking at the principles of effective writing. Because writing is a major issue that we observe, which have been the problem of some of the students from secondary school level to tertiary institution. And this is the skill that you need to learn, as we said earlier, and improve upon. If you don't know how to write well, there will be problem when you are given chance to prove yourself in the industry, because the industry is expecting you to give them the best, the latest, the current, and the newest style and model in writing. So today we are looking at principles of effective writing. Principles of effective writing. And there are some principles we observe, but the first one among them is economy. Economy. You know that you can write, if you want to write, you may just write lengthy, long, using twisted and complex expression. But one of the problems we encounter is that your write-up may not communicate required message. If it's too lengthy, too wordy, or it may end up confusing your audience so that they will not get the correct message they're supposed to get from your writing. So economy is one of the qualities of effective writing. It means that the writer should use required number of words in a write-up. And the writer should avoid using unnecessary words or expressions in a write-up. Unnecessary words or expressions should be avoided because those expressions and words may deviate from the flow of thoughts in your writing, may add the information not required in the write-up, and thereby it digresses the intention, thought, and the mission of the writing. So in economy, you avoid using unnecessary expression, unnecessary words. You need to do away with such in your writing. Another thing you should note under economy is that every sentence should be brief and concise. Every sentence should be brief and concise. That is, when you are constructing your sentence, just say what you intend to say. Don't try to elongate it, enlarge it by packaging some cliché, unnecessary expression to make it appear worthy or to make it appear flattery. That is not welcome. Let your sentence be brief. The subject, the verb, the complement, the object, the adjunct, all of them must be compact. And if you need to write complex sentence, you need to write it accordingly. Compound sentence accordingly. Let it be brief and straight to the point. It means that it should not contain any extraneous words. A word that has nothing to contribute should not be part of your sentence, because adding such word may distort the information you intend to pass across. Just one word may complicate your whole write-up and give it another message entirely. It may send what you don't want to send. And that's the reason you need to be careful. When you are typing on your phone or writing and your device or your app is suggesting some words, make sure you type your word fully. And if you have to pick out of the suggestion, make sure that what you have picked is actually what you intend to write. If it suggests a word to you, and that's not what you want to write, you just click it. Because in such situation, the word you click on and you send to your reader may create serious complication. For example, you are chatting with a friend and you tend to write big. And as you are trying to do it, you just mistakenly click P and you end up saying the writing pig. You want to say you are big and you say you are pig. How will your reader feel? Because initially your reader will not understand that you did not do it deliberately. You may think that you intended to insult him or her. And that's why such word you want to use, you must make sure it is part of your write-up. It should not be something that is not required, not needed. So any word that will not contribute to the meaning of your write-up, do not include it. Do away with it, no matter how much you like such a word. And in writing the word, or if it's typing, be careful you type the correct and exact word to avoid issues. You should also note under economy that your write-up should be short and straight to the point. Your write-up should be short and straight to the point. So look for fewer words to compose your expressions. Then make sure it addresses the issue clearly and completely. Don't try to give unnecessary elaboration because that is not required. And that will not help you to achieve your purpose or aim of writing. So the shorter your write-up and concise, the better. So make sure you say what you want to say and say it well and go straight to the point. I know you may ask me some questions. Yes, you expect us to write 4 pages, 5 pages, 6 pages on a question. Good. If you have read your materials, your notes, and other things you need to know, and you understand what you want to write, it will surprise you that you are writing your information, passing the message, giving the adequate examples, illustration, and the rest. And you will see amount to that 5 to 6 pages. Not that you'll be doing circumlocution, going around in a circle. Those who do that don't know what to write. Define the term, explain it, state its feature, explain each of the features. It will surprise you that you realize that sweet flow of thoughts, because you don't need to repeat anything. You pick a point, you discuss it, give examples and illustration, pick another point, you discuss it, say what it means, examples, illustrations, and the rest. Before you realize, you will have got a very good write-up. And your examiner or your reader will have nothing against you in such a write-up. So, should be short and straight to the point. And also, shorter words or expressions should be chosen in place of longer ones. Shorter words or expressions should be chosen in place of longer ones. For example, look at the examples we have here. You know, when you are writing or speaking at times, would you like to use some phrases to convey our message? And those phrases just sound like connectives. They are not the main message, but we use them to occupy space. Here we have, due to the fact that, how many words do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you know that those 5 words could be reduced to only one word? For example, since or because. He could not attend the class due to the fact that he was indisposed. You can simply have, he could not attend the class because he was indisposed, or since he was indisposed. You realize that you have shortened 4 words out of the 5 and use only one to replace it. And that will even make your message concise and straightforward. Another one is, as far as this matter is concerned. As far as this matter is concerned. Let's look at number of words we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 words. But this 7 words can be reduced into 3. In this matter. 1, 2, 3. We have got rid of 4 words. And also, if you look at this, at the same time, that's 4 words. This could be reduced to 1 word, such as while. And by using that, you have saved 3 words. So look at this. Get in touch with, this is 4 words. Can be replaced with meets, see, call. Get in touch with your supervisor, meet your supervisor, call your supervisor, or see your supervisor. You realize that all those unnecessary words are not required in effective writing. And that does not mean that you will not have the number of words or the number of sentences you are supposed to have. Does not mean you will not be able to write extensively to express your thoughts, your intention, your message, your idea in the write-up. So in a nutshell, Adequate number of words should be used. Adequate number of words should be used. Don't say because you ask to write 5 pages, 6 pages, you begin to play with words unnecessarily. That may not give you the goal. Whatever you write must communicate clear and complete information. So second one is simplicity. Simplicity. Simplicity is another principle that will help your writing to be effective. Should be easy to understand. Your write-up should be easy to understand. Don't write in a complex and confusing manner. So effective writing should be simple enough to engage the reader's attention. It should be simple enough to engage the reader's attention. If your reader has to begin to think, consult dictionary before interpreting your message, you have failed in communicating your idea. Because any writing that will be effective must be simple. Your readers should be able to decipher your message, decode your information, and understand whatever you are passing across so that they can give you the appropriate feedback. And if your writing is simple, it will engage your reader's attention because you are sinking, you are passing information across, and it will try to explore, to dig deeper into what you are trying to say, as you do not allow the expression to be clumsy and confusing. So that means that this principle does not encourage the use of complex language, pompous expression, or high-flown words. Foreign Greek words should not be welcome. I know that you've heard of one of a member of House of Rep, one of our states, Patrick Obayagbon, intend to use the word to complicate using the Greek and legal terms in his own way to pass a simple message across in a complex and complicated manner so that his audience will be more confused than convinced. But when you engage in effective writing, you are not supposed to bring such to the fore. Forget about your complex, or we know that you know them. Pompous expression, we know that you can convince anybody. High-flown words, we know. You need to have to make the choice of word, register from different fields to construct your expression. But that will not make your writing effective. And remember, at this level, each of your writings attracts score. If because you want to oppress and impress, you created a complex situation, you may not be able to achieve the required score. And you may not be able to get the goal you are targeting. And you become confused after the exam that I wrote, but how come this? Really, you wrote, no argument or dispute about that. But what did you write? And how did you write? Did you follow the principles of effective writing? Is your write-up simple enough to engage your reader's attention and direct them to the message in the text? So you need to avoid complex and pompous expression in the write-up. Also, it means that it should be direct and easy to understand. Simplicity in writing means that whatever you have to write, your write-up must be direct and easy to understand. Don't try to weave it in a way that your reader will get lost in the process. If you are dealing with creative work, we know that that's a creative work, but in normal writing, formal writing, all those elements applied that are allowed in a creative work should not be brought to the fore because they will only complicate your writing and discourage your reader. So you need to choose a language, be direct in whatever you have to say, and make sure that you encourage your reader to understand what you have to say. So the writer should not write to impress the audience, but to communicate both serious and complex issues in a simple language. Don't write to impress, but to do what? Communicate both serious and complex issues in a simple language. You know what you want to say is very serious and complex, but there is a way you are supposed to say it in a simple language. Because there's an exercise that we should have done at this level. So you are supposed to say it in a simple language, not a complex matter. It's a serious issue, complex issue, but communicate it in a simple language. And for example, I know that many of you were not so happy that we are not in physical class because you want to be on campus, you want to see your bodies and enjoy your privacy away from home. The way it is that you are being confined to stay off campus, many of you are not so happy with it. But if you are asked to write your feeling about this situation, how will you express it? Which you are actually going to do. On the current issue of online lecture, write your feeling. Either a complaint or whether you support it, we need to do a write-up. If there is time for us to meet next week, we'll go through the write-up. You read it from wherever you are, we examine it, and also show you what is okay there, what is not so okay. So, when you are writing that, you are not expected to be rude to your reader. Politeness, one of the principles that will help your simplicity. State what it is. How online lecture from home affects your study ability. Maybe when you have the lecture, or you print because you are, Mary, please help me to boil water. I need to take a coffee. You know that with wherever else you go, will not be able to easily connect. Or there is internet glitch. You could not hear clearly, and lecturer just continue talking. Or lecturer himself might have been locked off, might not be aware, and just keep talking. So you will need to write your experience during the period of online lecture, what you experienced during the online lecture. You need to write your experience as a form of a report. I hope that is clear. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You write your experience to show whether you actually, yes, whether you actually approve of it or you are not approve of it. But your writing must imbibe these principles: economy, simplicity, so that you will know how to remember, politeness is one of the core that will make your writing simple. Don't attack, don't insult, don't be rude, because it's not allowed in formal writing. So you should know that cliché and overused expressions should be avoided in formal writing. It's teaching time, they say, my question, who are they? Such should not make AY the sunshine. Such should not come in. Because you're not writing creative or work or just a narrative work. The formal writing, you need to kill all those cliché and overused expressions. They must not feature because they, instead of making your idea communicating but communicable easily, they complicate it. And therefore, simplicity will not be able to be identified in such writing. So next one is clarity. Clarity means being specific in your writing. Being specific in your writing. Write as clear as possible. Write as clear as possible. So don't write to confuse your audience, because a clear writing communicates faster to the reader. You have said what you want to say in a simple language. Nobody needs to query you because the information is there. What they need to know is already stated in your writing. It's just for them to write and act accordingly. And your reader will get your message as clear as possible. Let's assume that there is a fire incident and you quickly want to call for attention, you want to report it. Instead of simply, there is a fire outbreak at so time, so period, and this is the cause of the fire outbreak. This is the havoc that the fire outbreak has done. And you just began to complicate the whole matter, talking of inferno, combustion, furnace, and every other thing. You realize that you end up confusing your audience rather than convincing them, because such write-up will not communicate easily and faster message to your audience. And also, wordy and unclear expressions confuse the reader. Wordy and unclear expressions confuse the reader. So therefore, the reader will not get your message. The information will not be passed across because you have packed so many things, so many words, so many expressions. Therefore, the reader will now have to be patient, thinking of which word should I choose. Even this word I chose, what meaning among the meanings of those words is the writer trying to pass across? So we should avoid using wordy and unclear expression, because some people use the unclear expression to hide information and not to communicate anything at all. You just realize that everything they have said, there is nothing said in it. Nothing. And that's why to write clearly, you should avoid ambiguous statements, wordy sentences, obscene and vague expressions. For example, if somebody should state that flying plane is dangerous, flying plane is dangerous, what do you think the person is trying to say? Please, you can unmute yourself. Let's just interact a bit. Raise your hand if you have something to say. Raise your hand. You will see the icon for that to indicate that you have something to say. Raise your hand if you have anything to say. For someone to state that flying plane is dangerous. Whoever wants to help us, raise your hand first. Raise your hand. I can't see any hand raised, but I can see interference noise. Okay, Michael, you can go ahead. Michael, you can go ahead. Michael Adebayo, you can go
Yes,
ahead.
sir. I'm with you, sir. Can you hear me,
Okay,
sir? Yes, sir.
clearly, clearly.
So it means that boarding airplane is dangerous.
Boarding airplane,
Is
that
dangerous.
is, thank you, that is to travel with airplane is dangerous. You know, that's just one information. That's just a piece of information. It does not express all the meaning. That's just one meaning of that sentence. Flying plane is dangerous. You know that it can, okay. Alima, you can go ahead.
It also means like as a pilot, flying plane, it is a dangerous job.
It's a dangerous task. Thank you very much. For a pilot to fly a plane is dangerous. And that makes me remember a joke that the student has been cheating all his days in school. And he went to the School of Aviation training, and it was time for him to be trained. He's been trained as a pilot. It was time for him to fly the plane. He just squeezed in as a practical, squeeze in the handouts, as some of you may like to do. After squeezing the handouts into the place, okay, kick it, start this, move, do that. He was following the instruction on the handout. He started the plane, moved the plane, fly the plane. While he was on here, it was time to land the plane. And the lecturer just wrote at the end of the handout, get the second volume of the handouts. The question is that, how will he land the plane? By the way, that's just a joke. So it means that to fly a plane is a dangerous task, as Alima has said. It also means that the plane that is flying up is dangerous. Like Adebayo said earlier, that those in the plane, while they're traveling, they are under the grace of God, because such expression could be interpreted in the two ways. Like some said, I met American history lecturer yesterday. I met the American history lecturer yesterday. It may be that an American lecturer who is teaching history, or a lecturer teaching American history. So such confusing, ambiguous expression should be avoided, because it will not help in communicating meaning clearly. So say what you want to say in simple English. Don't try to impress. Make it clear that this is what I say. Like some of you, when we ask you some question, say, what is effective writing? If you want to give a vague answer, effective writing is the writing that is effective. You know that you have not said anything. You are just trying to cover up, not to say that you did not respond. What is American history? American history is the history of American people. You have not answered the question. Because there are some components, there are some concepts that distinguish American history from the history of other nations. You need to explain it, and your definition must include all those concepts, rather than say it's the history of American people. You have not answered any question. That's a vague expression. Saying that effective writing is writing that is effective. You are giving a vague expression. Don't expect any score, because just show that you are good at twisting expression. You turn the question to a statement. Simple. You have not answered any question. So before we proceed, is there any question or contribution? Please, okay. Chibundu gifts. I think you don't have anything to say. Why do you unmute your mic? If you have any question or contribution, you can raise your hand before we proceed. Okay, there is none. Let's move to the next principle. Brevity. Brevity means you must be brief. And to be brief, go straight to the point and avoid unnecessary explanation. Go straight to the point and avoid unnecessary explanations. This is what you have to say it. You're invited to a function. Okay, I would like to decline the invitation because I have an event on that day in another place. Simple. Don't just try to be elongating, as we have been together. It won't be nice if I did not attend your occasion because you have helped me, you have assisted me, we have passed through this, the river, the ocean, the fire, But my uncle told me this has to happen at this place and that uncle paid my school fee, also sponsored my mother to school and gave us our daily food, our daily manner, That does not mean I don't want to attend your function, but at the same time, I have to be at this. Go straight to the point. And all those unnecessary explanations should be avoided. Then say what you want to say in few words. Be brief. Say what you want to say in few words. Don't use long expressions. So that we say, he can write. And we have seen the people that can write, that when the result comes out, they got E and this. So what's the purpose of that writing? It may be that they're avoiding or violating these principles. But if you follow these principles, you get your score. You will get a good grade. And to be brief, the writer should avoid wordiness, redundancies, and complex, difficult words. If you look at some of these elements connect, they relate. Because all of them are interwoven in one way or another to achieve effectiveness in writing. Brevity, clarity, simplicity, they have some things in common. Avoid wordiness. Don't use too many words. Even economy. Redundancies. Any sentence that will not contribute to the meaning of the paragraph, yank it off. Any word that has nothing to contribute to the meaning of the sentence, delete it. Then avoid complex, difficult words. Some complex, difficult words that will not help you out. Unfamiliar words, please do away with them. And that will not cause your write-up to be rejected. So short words and sentences should be used to express your idea. Short words and sentences should be used to express your ideas. That's very essential. So the next one is cohesion. Cohesion is the next principle. Please remember to write your name and your matric number on the chat box. Your name and your matric number on the chat box. That's essential as attendance for this course. So next one is cohesion. Cohesion refers to linguistic means through which words and sentences are united to express meaning in a piece of writing. So I mean here that there are some words, phrases, clauses that serve as elements of unity. And that's why I say cohesion refers to linguistic means. Certain words, certain phrases, they perform the function of unifying your expressions. It may even be some sentence. They are united to express meaning in a piece of writing. They are united to express meaning in a piece of writing. Because those elements show the relationship among the sentences in a paragraph. They show the relationship among the sentences in a paragraph. That those sentences connect. And their own duty is to unite the sentences in such write-up. And you should note that anything you are writing in a paragraph, all the sentences you are using in the paragraph must focus on the main idea of the paragraph, which is called the topic sentence. Everything you are writing in a paragraph, all the sentences must point to the topic sentence, which contains the main idea of that paragraph. If there is a sentence that does not contribute to the meaning or the main idea, so such sentence should not be included because it will show contradiction in the writing. So under coherence, cohesion, all of them must connect. You must see the interconnectivities and relationship among the sentences in a paragraph. So paragraphs should be connected to discuss the main idea of the essay. Like we said that all the sentences in a paragraph should be connected to discuss the main idea in a paragraph. And the idea in a paragraph is called the topic sentence. And all the paragraphs, if you have like a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 paragraphs, all of them must connect to discuss the main point or the main idea of the essay, which we call thesis, as we discussed in our previous semesters. Because thesis is the message, the major point of an essay or a book. Any write-up you engage in, the thesis of that statement, of that write-up is the core message in its shortest form. What the whole write-up is about. So if you have 7 paragraphs, all the 7 paragraphs must contribute. They must all contribute to the main idea of the essay. There should be elaboration, explication, and the rest of the thesis statements. So, and that could be achieved through the use of transitions. There are some elements called transitions. Transitions are words and phrases that show the relationship among ideas in an essay. They are words and phrases that prove that the ideas in an essay are connected. They are related. And some of those transitions are used for different purposes. They are used for different purposes. And let's just look at a few of them. Here. So these are transition and the purpose of the transition. Some transitions are used for addition, to add ideas in a write-up. Among them, we have in addition. When you are writing and use in addition, means that you have said something earlier, you are to add to that information. And it's also used to add information. Also means that there is something you have said, you need to add more. Besides, that is apart from what I said earlier, these ones are also useful. So these transitions and more of them are used for additive purpose. And there are some we use for cause and effects to show that what we said earlier has this effect. Or what we said here, this is the cause. A few examples here we have is as a result of, because, consequently, therefore. So all these are used to show cause and effect. I saw being his friend as a result of his arrogance. Realize in that place, I stopped being his friend as a result of his arrogance. We have seen what I did. Then what caused it? Arrogance caused it. Effect is that we are no longer friends. So there are some we use for comparison, to compare ideas or points or concepts. One of them is likewise, similarly, in comparison, in the same manner, or in the same vein. So all these are used to show comparison, which is similarities in idea, in concept, in message. We use some to show contrast. Contrast show the contradictions, negation. For example, conversely, in contrasts, yet, but, however, nevertheless. All these are used to show contrast in a write-up. Then some are used for example, to state example, for instance, such as, for example, thus, namely. All this will help us to state examples. Summary. Some are used for summary. We have in conclusion. Hence, in short, to sum it up. All these are transitions used for to summarize ideas or purpose. Then we have time sequence. Some transitions are used for time sequence. Example, soon, in the meantime, eventually, before, later, currently, first, second, today. All those indicates time sequence. Well, you need to know that these transitions play crucial roles in connecting ideas in a write-up. And the connectivity helps in projecting clarity of purpose in such write-up by supplying the adequate information needed in such a write-up. So when you are writing your assignment, your term paper, your test, your exam, if there's any way to use any of them, make sure you use any of them effectively, and they should contribute to the quality, effectiveness of your writing. So the last one here is coherence. Coherence is a bit different from cohesion, but both of them are used to achieve the same purpose. The purpose is that they help us to achieve unity of thoughts in the write-up. They help us to achieve unity of thoughts in the write-up. While cohesion has to do with linguistic elements, use of certain words, phrases, clauses, the coherence does not, it's not indicated by any word. It's not indicated by any word. It simply means that there should be free flow of thoughts or idea in a paragraph. So coherence is more of the way you arrange or organize your thoughts. For example, you have to narrate a story to children. You know, the children are not concerned with your transition, connectivity, but their own is that the story you want to tell them should fascinate them, should engage them. And coherence will help you to achieve that. So it means that all the sentences and points in a paragraph should be arranged to fit together to achieve a flow of thoughts. Arrangement of your ideas. All your sentences, the points, you need to arrange them to move smoothly and connect. You know that to achieve coherence, you start from pre-writing stage. When you have gathered your information, you have your idea, the next thing you need to do is to outline them. Outline your points, your idea. Which one is the most important? Got it first. Which one is next to it? Or if it's in a chronological order, what event happened first? Then what follows? What follows? And which one is actually the last activity in the sequence of the events? Once you have done that right, you outline your thoughts, then pick the first one, followed by the second, the third, before you realize you will have explored all the idea in a unified manner. So there should be free flow of thoughts from sentence to sentence for clear understanding of ideas in a paragraph. There should be free flow of thoughts. because all those sentences must contribute. They must connect. They must show the purpose for which the write-up was or is being done. And thereby, it must work towards understanding of the ideas. So once the ideas in your paragraph is being understood, you can move to the next paragraph and connect all the ideas later. So each sentence should flow from the previous one to the next one. Each sentence should flow from the previous one to the next one. It shows that it expresses a sense of continuity in an essay. It expresses a sense of continuity in an essay. And this could be achieved through logical order of thoughts or transition. So coherence just means that make sure that whatever you have written or you are writing connects. Arrange them in the proper way. So thank you. Let's take if there is any question, you can raise your hand. And if you have not written your name and your matric number on the chat box, please do that. Any question? If you have a question, raise your hand. So once I see any hand raised, you'll be called to unmute your mic. Any question? Any question?
Okay, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Oh, yeah,
Yes,
go
sir.
on, just
Okay, sir. I want to ask a question because there was a time one of my
hello, I'm still listening.
actually writing a formula, and she made use of like I want to ask this question based on one formula letter one of my pupils in class recently wrote, and she submitted it to me to assess.
What's the question? Go straight to the question. Hello. Hello, state the question. Okay. What's the question?
Quote is very bad. Yeah.
Your line is breaking at that end.
The student make use of the, oh my, maybe I will type.
Okay.
I will type.
Okay, you can type it in the chats. So while he's doing that, okay. Rebecca.
Okay, sir. Sir, do you mind explaining the difference between cohesion and coherence?
That's what I just finished doing. Cohesion, you use some elements, some connective items to express it. But in coherence, you don't use such elements. It just shows that you arrange your word, your thought, your idea in a way that people will understand you as if you are talking. But for cohesion, you must bring out certain elements, either the use of and, but nevertheless, as you have used them in that expression to achieve your goal. So that we mentioned transition element under cohesion. So cohesion has to do with some phrases or clauses you bring together to connect. But coherence is just the idea. Make sure you arrange your write-up in a simple and clear way to make sure that they connect. Discuss the most important point first, then move to the other points. So that's just a simple way of saying it, but both of them are used for free flow of thoughts to make sure that your ideas connect. So any other question before we round off the class? Because today, okay. Oluseyi. Oluseyi,
Sir,
yes.
sir, so you talked about the transition element of addition that we can use in addition and also multiply. So my question is, starting a new paragraph in writing my maybe letter or essay, can I use and in starting a new paragraph
I
since
don't
it's
think,
transition element?
okay, thank you. I don't think that would be appropriate because you can't start a sentence just with and, except you want to prove that there is a strong connectivity between that paragraph and the previous one. And that's not allowed in proper writing. That will only be done in the case of discourse to show that something is being discussed. You can only find that in just normal speech, but in writing, you don't start a new paragraph with and. Even sentence is not encouraged. You don't start. It has to be within to connect some element. What you use in that place are what we call conjuncts. Conjuncts is a kind of adjunct, adverbial element that show that this sentence connects to the previous sentence. And it's mostly used in sentence constructions, not in paragraph mostly. So you don't use and. It will make your writing to appear awkward.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So today is supposed to be our last meeting. I've said